Boxing Truth here, back with another video. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Canelo Alvarez is finally a free man, free from obligations to Golden Boy Promotions, his longtime promoter. This was inevitable. It was as painless as possible. Very quick process, and now Canelo's a free agent. Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy confirmed they have severed ties with Canelo, their relationship, and they wish him the best going forward. It's sad in some ways because Canelo was the lifeline of Golden Boy. After Oscar got, he got shitted on by Al Heyman and Richard Schaefer. They snatched all of his fighters away, bought out Leo Santa Cruz. But Heyman couldn't take away his golden goose. He couldn't take away the best fighter he had in this stable. I'd take Canelo over Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Santa Cruz, Danny Garcia any day of the week. Canelo is much more valuable compared to that whole stable of fighters that Heyman stole from Oscar, and he hasn't even made a big star out of any of them. Good fighters. Spence has potential to be a star, but who knows how he is following that accident. So going forward, Canelo has a lot of decisions to make, and that's whether he's going to sign with another promoter, and honestly, he shouldn't. He's at that level now where he doesn't need to sign with anybody. Perhaps he can do a one-off type deal with the highest bidder. There's a fight waiting for him where he can have his freedom still intact. He's most likely going to still campaign in super middleweight, and he can test his value once again in the pay-per-view market. Now that he's free from the Golden Boys contracts with Dazn. That deal was very strange, man. Dazn didn't even have a contract with Canelo. They had a contract with Golden Boy, and Golden Boy provided Canelo's services. But they couldn't fulfill their end of the agreement. They couldn't come up with the $35 million for each fight. And this leaves Triple G assed out. This leaves him pretty much assed out with his deal. He's probably going to be next in terms of being let go by Dazn. That deal was based off a third Canelo Alvarez fight, and that's obviously not going to happen. Canelo is a free agent. He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants. And now he's the boss. He's only going to do what he wants to do going forward. The question is, who's he going to fight next? He's been in the training. He wants to fight at least once this year. He wants to get in a fight before the year is out. With no crowds really being available, or a very limited number of people being available, it's tough to say who he's going to fight next. I'm hearing a lot of Caleb Plant. I mean, that's an option. But how realistic is it? You really think Heyman's just going to throw in one of his pieces without any compensation in return? He's just going to feed him one of his super middleweight champions and just feed Canelo Caleb Plant and not get anything in return. He's going to want some options. He's going to want, a further commitment down the line. And I'm not sure Canelo is going to be able to. He's not going to want to oblige to that. He's going to want to do his own thing. In my opinion, I really see him going back to trying to set up that fight with Avni Yildirim. I know people hate the fight, but this is why I feel that fight has more of a chance of happening than Caleb Plant. For one, it's a mandated bout. It's for a WC title. And there's no commitment on Canelo's part. He's not going to be tied to no promoter because it's a mandated fight. They just negotiate a deal. They could do a purse bid, and whoever goes to the highest bidder, whoever wins, it's a one-off. It's a winner take all. And then Canelo, once he wins, he can go his separate ways. It's more of a one-fight deal. He might have to fight on Showtime, but who cares? As long as he doesn't have to commit to any agreement to a network or a promoter or manager. His manager is Eddie Reynoso, so I don't see him signing with Al Heyman or anybody. As for Golden Boy, it had to be done. The relationship was getting to a point where it was toxic. You saw the rumblings in the Kovalev fight. Oscar wasn't even acknowledging Canelo and vice versa. It just had to be this way. But even though Golden Boy lost Canelo, they're still in a stronger position than they were when Oscar lost all his fighters back in 2013. Canelo saved them, kept them afloat, and now Golden Boy still has an output deal with Dazn, which is still intact, which is still ongoing, and they're going to try to build another star. And they have some quality fighters, man. So it's not like, this hurts them for sure. But they still have potential stars in their stable, like Jaime Munguia, like Ryan Garcia, and they still have a good fighter in Virgil Ortiz, who has the potential to be a good champion. But Jaime Munguia is really their biggest asset right now. They got to get him that Golovkin fight. I don't know what Golovkin's doing. He's in hiding, taking all year to set up a bum fight for an IBF mandatory defense against a no-name. They got to get Golovkin into the ring with Munguia, because Munguia will retire that old man. Munguia would put an end to Golovkin's career, and that would catapult Munguia into another level. Munguia really has the potential to be a star and the next potential great Mexican fighter. Oscar's already online. He already said it, man. He believes Munguia is the next one. And for Canelo, he can do whatever he wants, man. Get that one fight out the way, whoever it is. I don't see it being Caleb Plant. And hopefully he fights a Charlo in 2021. To me, that's one of the bigger fights out there for him. A Jamal Charlo, No reason for that fight not to happen now. David Benavidez needs to get his shit together. Going forward, there's not really a lot of big fights out there for Canelo. Not really. Like, a true mega fight, million pay-per-view buys. Maybe Charlo has the potential to do that. Maybe a David Benavidez if he gets his shit together. But other than those two guys, what's really a mega fight for Canelo? Saunders fight does nothing for me. I can care less about that fight. Callum Smith is a good fight, but it's not a mega fight. I would love to see Canelo really, really challenge himself and really cement his legacy. And that's to move up to heavyweight and fight a heavyweight and try to defeat one. Not just any heavyweight. He can beat some heavyweights. I'm talking about a top heavyweight. He should fight Anthony Joshua. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe Canelo will do it one day, because Jamal Charlo ain't going to beat him. I know you PBC dick riders are, licking your chops, anticipating this fight happening, and I believe it will happen, but you're going to be disappointed in the result. Ain't no Charlo brother beating Canelo Alvarez, man. Protected Charlo brothers. Fuck out of here. Took them 12 years to fight anyone decent And Jamal Charlo barely beat Daryevchenko. Really was a draw. I scored it a draw. Good fighter, but Canelo's a great fighter, and that's the difference. He'll dispatch the Charlo brothers. He'll dispatch of Caleb Plant. He'll knock out Avni Yildirim. He might even beat Offer Beterbiev. Bivol, sorry, bruh. You get in line, brother. Now it's just finding the really true mega fights for Canelo going forward. Canelo's still at his peak, only 30 years old. However, now he's a free agent. Doesn't have to worry about passing the torch to any other Golden Boy fighter. He's in control of his own legacy and his destiny. And we'll see where he goes from here. Looking forward to his next fight. The best fighter in the world, Canelo Alvarez. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.